Hello, in this video I'll be showing you how to build a smart lighting system using a Raspberry Pi and an LDR sensor and sync the data to the ThingSpeak cloud and show widget based visuals in the cloud platform. So let's get started here. A smart lighting system is used to make the process of switching on and off the lights automated and thereby reduce a lot of power. So here we use an LDR sensor, a light dependent resistor. We use that to draw out the resistance values, and with the inverse proportionality of the resistance with the luminous intensity, we apply conditions and thereby we decide on switching the lights on or off. So an LDR sensor has got the LDR sensor here has got a zero point 0.1 microfarad ceramic capacitor attached to one end of it. So this is used for drawing the resistance values based on the time constant concept. So one end of the capacitor is connected to the ground and the other end connected to one end of the LDR sensor. We have a connection junction here. So the junction is getting connected on the Raspberry Pi board at pin 27, that is GPIO 27, and the other end of the pin gets connected to the GPIO 17 on the Raspberry Pi board. So now on the left hand side we have our LEDs which make up the alternative for the lights and bulbs at our home. The LEDs are connected with three different GPIOs on the Raspberry Pi board. GPIOs 18, 15 and 16 as per the board naming, so GPIO.board naming as we say. So the GPIO pins connected with the resistor to the anode of the LED here and the cathode being connected to the ground. The same is carried out in all the three cases. So the next task here would be to connecting this whole data which we generate from this circuit to the cloud, sync it over there and get the real-time analysis and widget-based visuals over there. And for this we need to configure our ThingSpeak cloud. So we have a few steps to follow, and once we configure we'll be able to see almost the same setup on a software basis over there. So now that we have thoroughly understood the basics behind the project, let's move on to setting up the ThingSpeak cloud, make the hardware connections accordingly and implement the project now. Here we are at the ThingSpeak homepage. Give a brief introduction about ThingSpeak here. ThingSpeak is an IoT analytics platform which is used to read, visualize and analyze live streams in the cloud. This platform, especially the free version of ThingSpeak, is being used for prototyping and to draw proof of concepts for those IoT systems which require analytics. So now let's set up a ThingSpeak account and start putting data onto the cloud here. So you move to the sign up page. On the sign up page you see here, you need to enter your MathWorks login credentials. So whichever MathWorks account you have already got, you could be using that for this, or else you can create one. So with the MathWorks account you can be using the ThingSpeak as well. So just enter your login credentials. So you see a message on top, signed in successfully, and you see the channels that I've already worked with. Now to get started with your project, you need to set up a new channel. So there's a new channel function here. Just click the button and you get these fields. So you can give a specific name to your project and describe it in a few lines, and here you can give the fields which you want to display on the ThingSpeak cloud visualization part. Now whenever you want to display a field, you can just check this box. So whenever you check this box, it gives you the option to enter the text, the field label which you want to give here. Suppose I say I give LDR value, you can go to the next field and say I need LED status. So you can set up at most 8 fields here. And the rest of the details, if you're particular about giving some extra information about the external sites or even your GitHub account, you can give those here. And if you need your channel location where you're using this channel, you can enable this feature as well. So once you're done with the setup, just click the save channel here and that's it. You'll be able to use your channel for your project now. So I'm back at my channels here. So I've already used 2 of them. So the one I've already set up for this project is here, smart lighting system. Tap on it. So you see at the start there are some of the details regarding the channel. It's a private one and I've given a small description here with the title. The private view looks like this. Initially you would be getting your visualization graphs. So a line graph would be given. You can include these LEDs along with the LDR value, gauge and LED status display here. So you could do that with this add widgets feature in this. So you see here the gauge, numeric display or a lamp indicator. Could use any of these 3. So here I've used the gauge for the LDR value, numeric display for the LED status whether 0 or 1, and the lamp indicator for the LEDs here. So you set these things. For the LDR value, you set up the gauge meter in this way. So the name is the LDR value which you have given, the field to which it needs to read data and show its readings here. You could see all the fields given in the channel. I have taken 5 fields. So the first field takes the LDR value, the second takes the LED1 value, third takes the LED2 value, fourth takes the LED3 and fifth takes the LED status values. So I've given a min-max value as 0 to 1250 ohms. So we display the value. Along with that, you have these units, ohms. You have a tick interval here, and then we have update interval 15 seconds. So that means to say that every 15 seconds your data would be updated on the cloud. You can give a specific range. So you see the green color here on the gauge meter. So I've given it as lights off range. So up to 0 to 500, as 500 is our critical value. That's a threshold. So 0 to 500, I've given a range to be green, and after that, whatever range it takes, it would be switching on the lights. So once you're done, click save. And now for the LED status display, we use the LED status text for the name, and we set the field as field 5 because that was the one assigned in our program. Then we have an update interval of 15 seconds. If required, you can give units as well here, and then you can present the data type. The data type could be integer or a decimal, and you can set up the places up to which your decimal needs to be given there. So once you're done, click save here. Now we have an LED setup. I'll show you one of them. In the name field, you give the LED. I've given this the first LED. So it's the LED 1. So field 2, there's a condition here. You can directly put the field 1's condition and make the LEDs blink, or else you can use another field, and give a specific value from the program itself. Once the value is given to the cloud, it assesses the condition and then decides to turn the lamp on or off. So now we set the field as 2 for the first LED. Then we have different conditions here. We'll choose equal to, and if the value is 1, then turn on the lamp, or else it will turn the lamp off. So even here we have an update interval of 15 seconds, and you can choose your color here. We have a wide variety of colors to be chosen. I've chosen red for this now. Once you're done, save it. So the same thing goes with the LED 2 and LED 3 as well. So I've given 3 different colors to distinguish between the 3 LEDs. So once all this is set up, you can just run your program on the Raspberry Pi and see the data being projected on the screen here. Get the stats changed. It was created 22 hours ago. Last entry would be changed whenever you start the program, along with the entries getting updated. So in this way you can set up your ThingSpeak channel and get the data projected onto the cloud over here. So now let's move to the hardware. Check the hardware connections and then start reading the data to put it into the cloud, and then analyze those values with the widgets we have used in here. Now that we have understood the complete circuit from the software circuit diagram and configured your cloud as well. So now let's look at the hardware connections. Try to replicate the earlier process and see how it behaves here. On the left hand side of the board, I have our LDR sensor with the GPIO 17 and 27 that are the board pins 11 and 13 connected on either side of the LDR sensor. It's basically a resistor, so we connect on both the ends. Then we have a 0.1 microfarad capacitor here, one end connected to the ground. So all this makes up the LDR sensor circuitry. On the right hand side of the board, we have our LEDs with the anode connected to the GPIO pins 18, 15 and 16 respectively, starting from the left, and the cathode connected to the ground, and all those connections go on to the Raspberry Pi accordingly. Now let's run the program and test the working with the data being updated to the cloud. So once you've got your board boot up, you get access to our terminal here. So I've entered the directory in which I've placed the files already. Before you start running the program, you just need to install 2 or 3 modules. I'll be showing you them in the code explanation part. You could get those modules on the net, install them and get your program running. So now I'll directly run the program. So now my program is running. So now let's get back to the hardware and the ThingSpeak cloud to see the output. So once you have got your program running, you can see on the hardware the lights are on, and you see the value being updated on the gauge meter. So the LDR value is above 500, which is our threshold here. So once the threshold is crossed, the lights need to be on. The hardware reacts to it, and you see the LED status as 1 and all the LEDs are glowing here. So now let's try the other case. So now the flash is on. So to get the data updated on the cloud, it takes a bit of time. So the data will be finally synced here. So you see the data value falling to below 500, then around 120s, and the LED status being 0, and all the LEDs are in the off state. So let me switch them back on by reducing the flash. You see the lights are glowing and need 15 seconds. So yes, you have the value here. The LDR value along with the LED status updated back to 1 again, and with all the LEDs glowing now. So you see the last entries are updated, and you have these below the screen as well. Few seconds ago, the values that are being updated. So this was all about the hardware explanation part. Now let's move to the code explanation and see how it is working. So here we are with the main program which we have used for implementation. So let's go through step by step. At the start, we use the RPy.gpio as GPIO. That's for setting up the pins. The next line we have from LDR_PR import LDR. That is the function which we have written for drawing out the resistance values from the LDR sensor based on the time constant concept. The next one, use this import sys, that is for utilizing the system specific parameters. Then we have URL live 2. So this is for dealing with the URLs present in the code here. And the next, we use time module. So here we enter the API key. You get back to your ThingSpeak account and see API keys over here. So click on the API keys and you get the set of API keys here, the write and the read. Get back to your code here. So here you need to enter the API key which I've shown it there. So the write API key which I need to enter here, not the read one, and then the basic URL which we'll be having here. So it's given as base URL. So the URL along with the %s which will be having the my API connected to this URL. So it will be projecting the data continuously on this URL part. So now we enter the main function here, the try loop, while true. We set up the LEDs here. So before that, we set the mode of the GPIO as GPIO.board. So we can do it with the GPIO.BCM as well. We can make those changes in the code and do the needed hardware corrections. And then we set the warnings as false. And then we set up the GPIO pins 18, 15 and 16. That's as per the GPIO.board naming as outputs. Then we start reading the values from the LDR function. So we take an average for all the 5 values which we take and check if the average value is greater than 500. It's a specific threshold which we have set. If the value is greater than 500, then we switch on all the lights. The GPIOs will be high. Here we initialize a value variable. So that will be indicating the LED status along with the switching on of the LEDs on the cloud. So value equals to 1. So the value variable is for the LED status and the rest of the value underscore 1, value underscore 2, value underscore 3 are for the LEDs. So here this command is important to connect to the cloud and put the data into these respective fields. So the con equals to the URL live module. Then we use the function URL open in that specific module and use these function arguments. The base URL which we have given already at the top of the code, and then the fields in which the data needs to be entered. So for field 1, field 2, field 3, field 4 and field 5 covered all the 5 fields which we have given in the cloud platform and all the values which needs to be read there. So the P average will be giving the LDR values on the gauge meter. So the field 1 is associated to P average, field 2 is associated to value 1, that is the LED 1 part, field 3 with value 2, that is for LED 2, field 4 with value 3, that's for LED 3, and we have field 5 with value, that is for the LED status. Then we close the connection whenever we write something on the URL. There ends the if loop. Now we have an else condition. In the else condition we include all the case statements of the other criteria. So whenever the lighting is quite good, we switch off all the lights. So here we see the GPIO pin set to low with the value 0 given to all these fields. So the LED status and all the LEDs on the cloud platform are also off. So it's the same command as we have used in the if condition. We close the connection. For a keyboard interrupt given, we clean up all the GPIOs and we have this system specific function sys.exist 0. Here ends the program now. So in this video we have learned how to interface an LDR sensor to the Raspberry Pi, build a smart lighting system and read the data which you're getting onto the cloud, and set up some widgets on the cloud to give a proper visualization of what is happening on the hardware and in the code. To get the code for this project, please do check out the blog link given in the description below. Thank you.